Hello, BXP here, your friendly introverted artist. You may have noticed that lately the content that I have been posting has been a little bit more personal, more like hobby, passion rather than like artsy in a way. But as you can tell from the title of the video, we are talking about a very unsuccessful market at that. And yes, it was not profitable at all. Okay, so let me catch you up a little bit because I did not really film anything about this event. There wasn't really much to film. I was trying to go live on TikTok actually while the event was happening, and then TikTok kept being like restricted because I wasn't really technically selling anything, but I was at a place and I talked that I was selling stuff at the place, but they don't like that. Apparently TikTok does not like that. If you're not selling from the TikTok shop, they do not want you to talk about anything related regarding that. So I now have a TikTok shop. I gave in. I want to go live from now on. I had to go through a lot of paperwork because I got my LLC finally, because of reasons, and I have an EIN number. I needed to get an EIN number. I went through all these processes, but I finally have a TikTok shop. So now I will be popping in every so often on TikTok to go live, and I'm getting distracted right now. But yeah, I didn't really film much because I was on live, and then the live was getting cut, and I was like, it don't matter. But yes, let me catch you up. I have written everything that I want to talk about. I hope that wasn't too loud because the mic's right here. But I have written everything that I want to talk about because I do not want to forget. I ramble a lot, and then I jump from one thing to another, as I already done. I'm already going off script. Page one. Ooh, page one. I do want to clarify that this market is a market that I have done before in the past, like 2 times. Just to put it into perspective, right? It's not like a new market that I've never done before. It's one that I've had experience with prior. And honestly, the last events that I did with them, beautiful. They were so successful. I had really great experiences with the last ones. And do y'all want to see some? So these were my booths. I think I have pictures of the last 2 that I did, and it was really good. Now let me give you, I guess, like an insight on the fee. The fee was $175 per day. So you could choose. So it was like a 2-day event, but you could choose to only do 1 day or do both. I chose to only do 1 day because the fee was already $175, and younger Mary back then, like $175 was a lot of money to put on it still is a lot of money to put your faith and hopes in. And back then I used to sell like items, like prints that were 4x4. That was like mainly the only thing I would sell, and they used to be $5. So I would have to sell a lot of items to make that fee because they were inexpensive items. They were low tier ticket items, right? The first time I made like about $800. I know. It was amazing. The second time was about $600, close to $600. The location from the first one was way better. It was more like in the foot traffic. The second location wasn't that great. It was like not the worst location, but it wasn't that great. So it makes sense that I made less money because it was more of like a little darker, more like at the end and a little darker than the other one. The other one felt more, but they were still very good markets because the fee being $175 and me making $800 or $600, I'm profiting. I'm making a good profit margin right there. And my items were easy to make. Now here comes the really important part. The really important part is that these events were done in post Houston. Now, if you're in Houston, you know, Post Houston, it's a really popular, really cool place. Like it's a really cool place. I ain't gonna lie. So it's already like a very popular place. So there will be a lot of foot traffic, right? So keep that in mind. There's a lot of foot traffic, people already coming in just because there's like so many things happening inside of it. So this time, you know, when I decided to go back to this market, I was very excited because I felt like it was one of those markets. Like this year, I'm only trying to focus on markets that I think I would do good at. You know, well, I mean, wouldn't you? Like, let's not judge here. You would want to do markets that you think you would do very good at, right? So I've mostly been planning to just do markets that I've had prior experience with that I did pretty good at. Makes sense, right? However, when it came down to it, the location was going to be different. Like they said, like this is a new place. It would be at the Sawyer Yards. And if you know Sawyer Yards, and if you do not know Sawyer Yards, let me tell you. Sawyer Yards, it's a very artistic little area. It's literally, that's what I've gone and bought art there. So when I thought of it, I was like, okay, it's a new place, but it's Sawyer Yards. Sawyer Yards is known and it's artistic. It's artsy. My art, like people will be coming in looking for art, you know? So I was like, okay, this seems like a good opportunity. Now, what I did not know till I was like there, and I had told other people that had also gone to Sawyer Yards. So I'm like, oh, it will be at this, I think it was at Silver Street. I don't remember. It was like this different like little street. Nobody really knew about it. So I guess it was like new. You know what I mean? It was like no one, I have never even seen that warehouse before. You know, like, and the other people that have gone to Sawyer Yards more than I have had never seen that street, whatever, before. So I was kind of like getting a little nervous, but that was after I paid. You know what I mean? Because the first thing I saw was Sawyer Yards. I paid. The fee was $550. $550 for 2 days. They didn't give the option for 1 day or 2 days. It was like for 2 days. So I paid the $550. And I thought I would make it back. I had a good track record with these markets, okay, with this market. And this is how you know, bro. Every single time that I feel like I have it in the bag, I don't got it in the bag. And every time I'm freaking out, that's when I have it in the bag. So next time I feel very confident about something, I need to start doubting. I need to start. But I really thought I had it in the bag. I really did. Because let's say for 1 day at the other market, but let's remember it was Post Houston. But still, I'm still going with the same mindset of like, it's going to be busy. It's Sawyer Yards. In 1 day, the lowest I had done was $600. I thought in 1 day I would make the fee back, or at least close to it, you know? No, I did not. $550 is a lot of money, guys, for a 2-day event. I did it out of hope, right? But it is a lot of money. Like I did think it was an outrageous price, but like I keep saying, I had experience, and then minimum, like I thought I could make it in a day because of the prior experience I had with them. Now, like the price of this, to put it into like perspective, is like a 3-day weekend convention price based on like the other ones that I've done. So like for Anime Matsuri, it was actually a 4-day. I had to look it up when I was writing my little transcript. I had to look it up. It was actually a 4-day convention for Anime Matsuri, and it was $470 to event for 4 days. $470. I paid $550 for a 2-day market. It's on me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, that was my decision. That was my decision at the end of the day. I said swipe. Oh, and that's exactly what happened. Should have not swiped. Okay, so you're about to see right now, in the next clip, it's the first day, which is setup day. There was like 3 days. One was for setup day, and then the other two was for the actual market. So the setup day was very crazy. It was raining. I mean, nobody can control the weather. It's Houston. It's hot. It rains a lot here. Like, why does it rain so much over here? I love the rain, so I'm not really complaining. I just don't like venturing while it rains. You know what I'm saying? But let me show you that clip. There's really not much to show, but I filmed it, so here it goes. We are setting up for Bipartisan, and it's raining. You can't even see outside. That's how bad it is. It's like insane, but I only brought like my skeleton, and tomorrow I'll bring the products because I really did not want my products to get wet. It's honestly insane. It's a little tight in the back because I have really long tables, but we will see. We will see. Okay, I gotta get going because it's only gonna get worse. Feels like there's like a filter or something. Oh my god. Yeah. Like, the crazy part is that you can't really see in person, but through the camera you can. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't want to talk too loud, but bruh, I really want to talk some stuff right there, but I want, you know, you gotta be respectful. You gotta be respectful. But I really wanted to talk about how slow it was, but it just didn't feel like the right time. Bro, that light is giving me a headache. It's like making everything, you can't even see in the video, but it's making everything like that. It's giving me a headache. We are back at Bipartisan. It's morning. The booths still have not yet fully been open. We're just here because I wanted to make sure. I brought new plants yesterday, the plants that I had sold, and I just wanted to be here. Also, guess what? I'm trying something new. So they gave us Wi-Fi, which is amazing. So I brought my iPad, so my phone is free. Yay! I'm very happy. I'll be using my iPad. I'm gonna turn it off because I don't want it to die. But I'm so happy. I'll use it, and that means I can just roam around with my phone. You guys don't understand what it sucks. Like, it sucks to just not have your phone while doing the thing, because you're always thinking like, what if he needs me, what if he has a question, like my helper, which in today's case is my husband. But you know, it's just and then sometimes I want to film stuff and I can't because I need to conserve the energy of my phone because we're here all day basically. But I'm excited. I have some things to say, but I don't think I will say them till the very end of the show, just so I can have everything, you know. But how are you guys feeling about my booth? I added like pink tablecloth. I got on live for the very first time on TikTok on Thursday. Ooh, shiny. And I painted this on live and it was so much fun. So from now on, oh yeah, and I sold the painting. I'm so happy I started doing this because people can actually see my paintings. I've been selling paintings nowadays. Before, I would only showcase them at a gallery, and then you can't really showcase them like multiple times. So that'll be one and done. And then I'm like, what am I doing, you know, with all my paintings? And people always ask me if I only did digital work or if I also did original. So I finally found a way to showcase my work. But as I was saying, I'm probably going to start doing projects. Nowadays on TikTok, on TikTok Live, whenever I just have something to do. Also, pins. I'm only selling them for $4, but yeah. Oh yeah, this is also something new that I incorporated. I'm so happy that I did. It is a little janky though, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't have like a long piece, so I cut it into 3 different ones. Yeah, because also it will fold, so I'd rather just have them separately. But yeah, okay. You see right there? That's how it pretty much felt for the entire time. Now, I will give them grace. Like, was it like this the entire time? No, there were some brief moments where a good amount of people did show up. Like, I'm not going to cap. I'm not going to lie on anybody's name. Like, there were some moments. That's why I made the money that I did make, right? But for a majority of the event, for the fee amount, violin, tiny violin, right? Tiny violin, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just as like a little disclaimer, I really do not like talking ill regarding events, right? Because there is so much that we do not know that happens behind the scenes. There is so freaking much. Like, that venue could really be so expensive, right? Like my grievance was the high price. I feel like if the price was right, if the price was right, you know, it would have been a great show. It would have been, you know, I would have been happy with that amount. I'm happy with any, you know, amount. It's just, it's really expensive. It was really, really expensive. I ended up, so the fee was $550. I made $550. Like, that's it. Exactly. But, and you would think, okay, you made the boot fee back, right? Technically, yes, like I did. Like, realistically, yes, I did. However, you have to consider when you're a vendor that the merchandise costs money to make. So when I got back, I sold a lot of items. So I have to restock those items. It costs money, right? So all those things you have to take into account. And if you request off from work, you have to take that into account as well. I mean, not really, because I just take it like, oh, day off, right? Fancy, oh, you know. But, you know, you have to think about that, right? If it's not successful, you think about those things. You're like, dang. You know, I had fun, though. I'm not gonna lie. I had a really great time. I had a really great time. Also, my mom makes bracelets, and she does the plants. So I have to give her her cut on those sales. She made $100. She was happy. She was like, oh, it went so good for me. I was like, hell yeah, girl. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. But for me, that was another increase of like the loss, basically, because I made $550, but I gave her $100. So I've actually made like $450. But then I also have to do the restock and the things that I sold, right? Like those, that's that, you know? So it was very not profitable. And, you know, I mean, you gamble. That's really what it is. You be gambling. You be taking chances in these matters like that. It's just my personal opinion. I feel like the price was just a little too high for it to be a newer location and a smaller location too. And it did feel very hidden. Like, me personally, if I wasn't like actively looking for it because I'm vendoring, I would have missed it. I would have not known about it. But also, it's like, at the end of the day, you know, like, people would have the address, right? Like, okay, let's move on from that though. I kind of want to touch a little bit of why I think the price was high, because, you know, we have to, like I said, I don't like speaking ill of things like I don't like doing that. I don't like put no negative energies on nobody, because everyone is trying their best and they're doing their best, you know, just to be the devil's advocate, right? So I think the event coordinator said, which big something I have to say is that the event coordinator is an amazing person. Like, they inspire me in so many ways. I respect them. So this is nothing against them at all. I really genuinely think that they want to do really good for their events. I think that it was just, you know, things happen. The price, the price, the price, girl, the price. Yeah, it was the price. But what I think they had said was that I think they said that that new place was exclusive to the market. So I think the exclusivity of it hiked up the price for the venue. Also, they tried some new marketing and advertisements, and like I think they put on a billboard. That costs money to do. You know what I mean? All this markets and like marketing, that probably also had something to do with the price, because they're trying to make this big. You know what I mean? They were trying to bring in the people. But also, there was that third day for the setup. A third day to add to the venue, that is another really high expense. Like really high, guys. I don't think we realize how high it is for one day to rent out a venue. Is very, very high. Is like, so for it to be 3 days, right? They did say that next time or future times they were going to have a 3-day event. So like the setup day, and then it would be like additional to the market. Like they would include that as a market day as well, not just only setup, you know? I think they were just trying to test it out this time, because they weren't even sure if people would show up on a Friday, you know, to set up. I mean, it was raining like crazy, like less than 50% or maybe 50%, I don't know, showed up to set up. I was one of them, because I didn't want to be stressed out. If they give me an extra day to set up, I will take it. 100%. I'm just trying to come in and put my feet back and let's start it. Let's get this show on the road, you know? But I think, you know, that would help, like that third additional day, if they're charging that much. That could have given me $200 extra, where I could have been like, all right. Like I basically didn't lose money. I didn't gain money, but I didn't lose money, you know? And that would have been good. That would have been good. I would have not felt. And you also have to think, like, people don't talk. I think this is like a very big thing that people need to know, is that people don't really speak on people's success. Like if I had look, people only speak if it's like a really, really hyped or really bad, right? People don't really speak about the markets that go decent. You know what I mean? Maybe some people do if like that's like their content, right? But for majority of people, attendees, vendors, they love to speak on things when it's like they really did like a very high or it was very low. I feel technically bad for me for speaking on this, but also I think it's a good insight for everyone. You know, I think it's a good insight. But like I keep saying, respectfully, you know, I'm saying all this very respectfully and no hate, no anything. But yeah, I think it's just this to give people more of like an insight, once again, of how it is to vendor and that this does happen. You know, you do gamble. Sometimes we win, sometimes we don't, but that's okay. And then with event coordinators, you know, like there's always a big learning experience, right? Every year that you do a market, every time you do a market, you learn something new. And we just hope that they do learn from anything that may happen. But devil's advocate, yeah, venues are expensive AF. I understand that, but I still think the event was way too expensive. I still do. Like $550, you know, like I keep saying, George R. Brown, you know, conventions at George R. Brown don't even cost me that much for a 4-day event, for a 3-day event, you know. I've never paid that much. I mean, there 100% there's conventions that do cost that much, but like I keep saying, they're way bigger, and they have more days, so that can help, you know, if you have more days, market like open to the public. You know, like funny enough, like I ended up doing a market same like the next week. I didn't even have it planned, bro. I did not even have it planned. But I was like, okay, I just lost money. Let me do this market punk rock garage sale, $15. I was like, please, like I need to recuperate anything. And I know that I could profit on that one. Even if it's $20. Even $50, I would be happy to just profit. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. They had some issues, and they couldn't schedule me for like the next month, but they said, hey, something happened, there's some cancellations, like, do you want to come in this month, the same month of the market I'm talking about, right? Do you want to come in this month? I was like, actually, that's perfect, yes, please book me up. I did. I made some money, and yeah, it was pretty good. I'm glad I did that. So, you know, there's some silver lining. There's always some positive if you look at things, if you keep trying, don't give up, type shit. Cheers. I've been trying to quit. It's so hard to quit, bro. This is so good. I can quit anything except soda, apparently. Now, I doubt many or any of y'all know this, but I've been planning my own event. And this is something that I be taking really into mind. Because this is like one of my biggest fears, is having an event and the attendees or the vendors not being happy with the experience. That is like my biggest fear. I ain't gonna lie, no cap. Because there is so much unknown, right? And I guess that's why it's like I try and see both sides, and don't think of me as the enemy, y'all. Like, I feel like some vendors would consider me. I've had talks with some people, right? And just sometimes, you know, when I speak, I guess devil advocate, they feel very frustrated speaking with me. But I think it's like, let's say a person that's a business owner, right? With a person that's just a customer, and they think something is very expensive, right? Or they're upset about something regarding their business, but it's like they don't know what it takes to run a business. You know what I mean? They don't know what it takes and why things are the way that they are. Right? In some sense, that's the same way with vendors or attendees with a coordinator. I'm not saying that there aren't coordinators that are terrible. You know, there are some that are not in it for the attendees or the vendors. There's people that do not care. Those people, 100%, 100%, tear them down. No. I don't promote violence. But, like, for real, though, you know what I mean? 100%, I'm on your side. I'm also a vendor. I'm also an attendee. You know what I mean? I go to events. As a person that enjoys being with the community, and also as a person who has a small little business that wants to be successful, you know, but I'm also really interested in creating my own event. So I'm creating Cute X Dark Fist. I feel like I don't know, have I talked about it? Probably not, but also a main reason why I've been MIA regarding like the art, and that's why I've been posting a lot of like other stuff, because that's been happening behind the scenes. A lot of stuff preparing legal work before I do, because I always like to start, you know, with very solid ground, right? Very good foundations. All right, where am I going with this? Let me go back to my papers. Let me go back to my papers, because I'm running out of track, and this is why I wrote this. Okay, but yeah, with this in mind, right? I also do know that when it comes to this, like the way I'm thinking about my event, right, is that the first year, I know, because it's going to be new, I don't have, at whatever location I go to, I don't have a track record. I don't have anything to be like, this is how many people I bring. This is like, I don't have anything to really show for it, like anything to really show people back what like my vision is. It's kind of like, you got to trust me on this. I have a very good vision. You got to trust that I will 100% do everything in my power to make this successful for everyone involved for a first year. You know what I mean? For a first year. As the years progress, it's going to get better. It's going to be banging. By the end, you're just going to wish it could, because I'm only doing it for 12 years. Once a year on its relatively month. First year, January. Second year, February. Third year, March. Like, that's what I'm doing. Nobody better steal this. And if y'all do, y'all will not do it how I do it. So whatever, actually. Y'all, the way you can't copy this. You can't take this away. But I know especially for the first few years, right? It's going to be like, and this is what I'm gonna say, it's so expensive, right? But that is not on the vendor. That is not on the attendees. That's not on them. That's something I want to do. This is something I'm trying to invest in, you know? So the first year is going to be very inexpensive for my vendors. And it's going to be free to attend for the attendees, because this is like, why pay money to come? Like, you know, like, unless I'm offering something really extravagant, you know, I don't see reasons for me to ticket. Even though I do want to have live music and it's going to cost me to have live music, I don't want to ticket anything until it's like a huge thing that, like, it's like there's a reason for it. You know what I mean? There has to be a reason for there to be ticket events, in my opinion, for my event. For the vendors, right? It has to make sense for them. You know, it, like, I'm not going to start charging high price or prices from people that have already been established. Why? I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? Even if my event the first year is amazing, even if I feel like I could pull it all off and make it like the biggest thing ever, like the way I envision it, it's still the first year. It's still new. You know what I mean? So I feel like with this being a new location, even if you do have, I understand the increase of wanting, because it's just, I feel like it wasn't done very tactfully price wise. Oh, I need to give my bearded dragon his medication. All right, I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. I forgot what I was saying, but I was going to say that good venues are really, really hard to find. I don't know what's going on with Houston. A really good venue is so hard to find, and they're very expensive. Like, I've always known this, right? I've always known this. But it's different when it's your money that you're investing into it. It's like, you know, like, am I gonna lose money? Yes, 100%. I'm not really doing this for the money. I'm doing this for the experience. I'm doing this because in the future, would I like to make some money so I can keep doing it? Of course. But for the first few times, it's on me. It's on me. You know, okay. Anyways, the reason is because I have like the story that I want to talk about, kind of like experience about two different markets that changed locations where they were already established, and how one, you could still be a bit successful, and the other one where you know, this happened, you know. And I think, next time will it be better? I think so. I think next time their event might be better, because maybe people already know where it is, you know. It's not the first one, you know, at this new location. So let me say, okay, look, everyone has their own opinions and feelings about things, but this is mine. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Broken X Palette. Okay, Mary. This is my opinions and my emotions and feelings regarding what I'm thinking. Okay, so by name, I'm sorry, but McCarp Markets. This is one of my favorite places to vendor at. It's such like, that's where my people are. You know what I mean? That's where like the people that are looking for my type of aesthetic, which kind of like a little on the darker side, you know? It's really hard to find that where it's like, it's not too dark, and it's just not too common, like, or normal. What's the word? I don't know. But McCarp Market is one of my favorite ones. They had been at this location, their prior location. They had been at that location for like a really long time. They had it in unlock, okay? The fee was $75, okay, for like the bigger booth, because there were like two different booth sizes that you could get. The bigger booth was $75. Some vendors thought it was a little steep, but I felt like they brought enough foot traffic that it was a decent price. $75 for one day, I think, can be steep, but But like, are they bringing in the crowds? You know what I mean? That's what matters, you know? Then they moved to a bigger location. Bigger, okay? Hence the word bigger location. Not a smaller location, a bigger location. And many people complained at first, okay? I don't know if they're still complaining. They probably are. I mean, people complain about everything. Look at me. I mean, am I allowed? Am I really complaining? I don't know. It doesn't, oh my gosh, Mary. Stay in. Anyways, but people were complaining because the last location was fully indoors. This new location was outdoors, but it's covered, okay? So there's like a roof, but the sides, it's open still. You know what I mean? And in Houston, it's really hot. It's really hot. Yes. Oh my gosh. I know it's funny that I'm saying that while I'm wearing this, but inside my house is not hot. It feels actually pretty good. So I feel pretty comfy right now. But outside, it's so hot. And it rains so much. I love the rain. But I keep saying I don't want to vent during it. But it is covered, so I will give it that. However, on the sides, it's not covered because it's opened, okay? So the vendors that are trailing that open area, because there's a roof, but the wind will bring water. You know, sometimes the wind does this thing and then the water goes. Yeah, and so some of the vendors were kind of feeling a little upset about that. And the porta potties were outside too. Before they were inside at the other location, they were inside restrooms. Now there's porta potties, and we already hate porta potties. Porta potties are gross. But but a porta potty is better than nothing, than no restroom. So, but it being raining, porta potty outside, the little paper towels were all drenched in wet, so you couldn't dry your hands. So there's reasons for people to feel like, this location, right? The difference also was the fee increased by like $100, same as the other one, like per day though, right? But this one, $100. So it went from 75 to 175, right? And some people were not happy about that. But comparing these two, the price for this one, it being bigger, and this one has a huge free not public, but like a free parking lot for the attendees and the vendors, like a huge one. The other one, you had to go, like there was free parking, but you had to go looking for it. You know what I mean? You had to go looking for it. And if you were inside the Sawyer Yards, I would have not known at all where it was. You know what I mean? But this one was very much like, this is the place, you know? But and this is why some people were kind of like low-key like hating on me. Like, I don't think they really were. That's like a very strong word. But they were kind of like frustrated with my take on it, because they were saying 175 per vendor. Like, that's an insane amount. Like, that's crazy for one day. I kind of agree. Like, for one day, 175. Yeah, because I've gone. But also, there was a decent amount of foot traffic. Was it as good and great as the last one? Not really. But also, you have to take into account, like, the weather was crazy. It's a new location. It's the first time at a new location. You're expecting less people, right? I would. But they still brought in a lot of people. But some people are really upset about the increase, right? And then, you know, they're thinking, oh my gosh, they have all these vendors, 175. This is how much it would be. And then when I'm thinking about it, now that I'm trying to be an event coordinator as well, even back then, you know, I was still like not like fully, like I knew I wanted to do that, but I wasn't like, I hadn't actively looked at venues. And for me, I kind of thought, I'm like, that sounds reasonable, because the venue would cost more than that, or just that much, because this is a big venue, you know what I mean? And I was like, they're probably literally not making that much money of the events. Probably, I don't know. Actually, I don't I'm just saying what I'm thinking, right? But some people, you know, because, you know, there are scamming. There are people that scam. There are people that like literally only think about their own pockets and stuff, right? But I always like to see both sides. But that doesn't mean I'm blind either. You know what I mean? Or that I'm like la-di-la-di-la. No, like if something seems off, it's like, oh, I think the main reason why I want to bring this up is because there are two that were very good markets that upgraded to a different new location that they thought would be better for the market, right? And this is something that I find very interesting as a vendor and as someone that would like to host, This is like a learning experience basically for me to see what people are doing. The reason is because there was like a difference there. One, I did not at all made any money. I lost money. Even if they do bring people, right? Because, like I said, it wasn't like there was no foot traffic at all. There was some foot traffic, but there weren't that many. So location really matters. It has to feel out there in a way. It's really hard to find those though. It's really hard to find good venues. The other one it also felt very exclusive to this market, that it's like it's only them, like they're basically the entire place, like it's for this market for that day. So it felt exclusive for both, but this one felt like there was other stuff going on around it and it was more hidden. This one felt like that location was just for that. Parking differences, one, you have to go looking for parking. There were some like nearby, but you do have to walk and fight other people that are going for other things. And the parking lot for the Sawyer Yards that I didn't even realize was there till like on my last day, it was very hidden. Like I would have not known really that the other market, like they did have some, like I think they did have one sign out there like by the parking, but it wasn't, so like just like these little things, that can affect something like this. It's very crazy. But even then, the fee. I think the biggest takeaway is the fee. Like genuinely, like even when you put everything like that, it's like even with all these things, if the fee wasn't so high, maybe it would have been a better experience, for a lot of people. I know I wasn't the only one, that felt some type of way. I know, vendors talk. Vendors talk to one another regarding things like this, like if they feel they're like how their day is going basically. But all I can do from this experience is like genuinely just learn from it. Like I took an L. Okay, but what did I learn from this experience? Now, one, personally, is not just the freaking, the event's fault. There could have been some things that I could have also changed in my display to hopefully do that barrier. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying all this about the location, I'm saying all this about these things, but what else could I have personally done to make my experience better and for people to want to buy my stuff? Even if, like, I feel like if you just blame the event sometimes, even though there are all these things against it, you know what I mean? What can you do still, right? What I've learned is that I need to start bringing more high ticketed price items. So what that means is I need items that cost a little bit more. So my price ranges go from like small to like big instead of from like really small to really big. You know what I mean? So I have my small ticket items, which are my stickers, which are like $2, $3.50. My pins, $4, right? Then we have my small prints, which are $8, $10, and then they're frames, so $14 to $18. And then we jump. Well, then I have plants and then bracelets, like bracelets vary from $6 to $12. The plants, $20, $15 to $20 to $25, right? And then the higher things are my paintings, which they vary from $65 to $120 to $200, depending on the painting, right? That's a big jump, right? The thing is with my items, I did many sales, but because they're also so small, let's say I sold 3 items, 3 prints, but buy 3 for 20. So I only made $20. Versus if okay, so this is what I want to do. The prints that will benefit from being a bigger print, I should make them into a bigger print, and that's it. Just have them as a big print. The prints that would benefit as a smaller print should stay small, or made into a sticker, or made into like a magnet. You know what I mean? I think I just have so many print options, and they're all small, and I do the bundle, which is good. I mean, that's really fun. But I think what could benefit equally me and the customer is to have some items that are like, there's some details that you lose when it's so small. If I make the print bigger, you could see these details better, and then I could make $20 off that print instead of having to sell 3 items, you know? So 1 item versus 3, you know? So that is one thing that I want to start doing, and that's something I will be doing. I've been putting in the plans of, it's a lot. It's a lot. I just have a lot on my plate. So I'm kind of glad that I'm not doing events, because last year I was doing so many events back to back to back, and it really hindered me in some parts. Like, I was making money. Sure I was, but I was stuck. I was stuck in a cycle of working my job, restocking, market, working my job, restocking, and market. I didn't have time for creativity. I didn't have time to really plan anything new. I didn't really have time to put into action a lot of the things that this year I have been. So, you know, sometimes it's good to pivot. You know, it's good to pivot. I don't think this year would have been really great for me sales-wise anyways, due to everything that's going on. So when things are looking a little off, doesn't mean give up. I know a lot of the people that I know lately feel like giving up in their artistic ways, like in just many things, like not giving up like as an artist, because everyone's an artist. Even if you make money, even if it's like you do it as a hobby, or if you want to create into a business, you can still be an artist, you know, like as a hobby, you know what I mean? So I think they're still artists, but I think they give up on the business side of it. And, you know, fair enough. I mean, everyone has different pathways, right? But for me, this was a time for me to pivot into the projects I've been wanting to do, and to get some legal work done behind scenes. So that is why you kind of haven't seen me doing a lot of I guess like markets, because I used to make a lot of videos of me doing markets, but I'm kind of transitioning into like my hobbies a little bit, because I enjoy doing that. I enjoy this channel was for my hobbies, my passions, and my art, music, movies, things that I really enjoy, and this is where I share all that. Yeah, and there's also a learning experience, like I said, from personal experience, that I can benefit, I can do better from the business side. Also, an experience that I could benefit, so I can keep this in mind for my future events that I may want to do, you know, that I'm planning to do. So all throughout, I had a great time. I still had a great time. I bought this beautiful art print for $30. So that's what I'm saying, like higher ticket items, like higher print quality and stuff, like bigger prints. They're doable. I kind of gave up on them before because I had them. It was so annoying because I had them stuck to the grid wall, like taped to the grid wall, and I had to remove it every time. It would take forever to take off. And then because people had to point at it and tell me what number, and people may have anxiety, sometimes they wouldn't sell as much as just them looking through and grabbing one and giving it to me. So I have like this new idea of how I want to transition now. But let me show you the print that I bought. It's so cute. It reminds me of my cat. I have a black cat. But yeah, $30 print. If you stayed all the way through the very end, comment a little emoji. Let's see which emoji. How about this? How about you comment a little cat? It could be any cat. Are there even emojis for cats? Yes, there are. Comment the cat emoji if you stayed all the way, if you saw all these videos. That way I know that you did. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy watching my content, do not forget to subscribe so you can keep watching my content. Also, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. It helps a lot. It makes me know that you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to comment down your thoughts about anything I've said. I know we all have different opinions. If you agree, disagree a little bit, you know, what's up? Let me know. Anyways, well, I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Du bist gut genug. Du bist gut.